Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I want to pretty much introduce to you the other half of the channel. So this is my 2012 Volkswagen Passat SE 3.6 liter V6. It is extremely rare in the United States. I've only seen one other on the road, and as of right now, I've only seen two posted in the entire United States for sale online. And those, I believe, have just over 100,000. This baby's almost at 200,000 at the moment. I want to talk about my modifications I've done to this car. Since this car is completely modded out, there's not many things you're really going to see on the channel at the moment. So I want to go through the whole thing with you guys. All right, so let's go to the side of the car first. So I want to tell you how the suspension on this vehicle works because, like I've said in previous videos, this car is extremely hard to get parts for. They don't just sell them online. It's not like a GTI or a GLI or a Subaru. We can go on and buy a bunch of aftermarket parts. So for this, we actually bought Utimo Raceland Coilovers. We were able to drop between 2 and 4 rounds in the front and back. So this one, I believe, in the front is 2 rounds and the rear is all the way maxed out at 4. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's what we had it at over the summer when we did it. Actually looks a little bit more aggressive for what the car is actually supposed to look like. It's kind of like that typical dad car, that daily driven base luxury sedan that you don't exactly see modified. So other modifications I've actually done this car, if we go to the back with me, that we have this pretty much custom full carbon duckbill that we installed, which was an easy install. We had a stock lip from factory from Volkswagen. It was white paint matched. So we bought a carbon duckbill, and I believe it gives the car a lot more aggression. The car obviously doesn't look aggressive from stock, and we needed to spice it up. I think the number one thing that we did with spicing it up was lowering the car and putting that on it. Other little things that we did was that we painted some accents. When I show you the front, I'll show you we painted some accents. Just something small to give the car more of like that aggressive pop, more accent look, so it's not just plain white. And my absolute favorite, I'm going to talk about my absolute favorite mod I've ever done to this car that I don't think any other Volkswagen Passat owner in a V6 has ever done. So this is not a full exhaust. This is a cat back custom Magnaflow exhaust from our buddies down at Lou's Exhaust, local to us. The tips were off of a random website. I believe it was ECS Tuning. I'm not 100% sure where. I forgot. It was about 2 years ago we did the project. But I bought oval aggressive Magnaflow mufflers, one of the most aggressive mufflers you could get for European cars. Super aggressive. We had custom piping around the bend. We have a big mid pipe in the middle that weighed, I don't know, I would say probably about 50 to 80 pounds. So we deleted that, straight piped it from there, and that led into a custom Magnaflow wide pipe that led into essentially the mufflers into the new tips that we got. So the entire exhaust went from a 2-inch to a 3-inch. So later on, we ended up going back to the exhaust shop and take the resonators off the car. The reason why we took the resonators off the car was we believed that it was still too much restriction and it didn't sound as loud as it had the potential to. So we went to cut the resonators off. It sounds absolutely amazing, and personally, it has that scream that we never thought this car would have. That is my absolute favorite mod we ever did this car. I will put in some clips. We'll put in some clips showing you what the car sounds like driving up and down the road. Now I want to move on to the kind of wheels that I have onto this car. So the wheels I originally planned for this car were HRE flow forms, but at the time I didn't have the budget for them. So I said, okay, for a budget rim, what could I find that makes this car pop? Some people don't like it. In my opinion, I am not a huge fan of it either, but they look a lot better than the stock rims. So I decided to go with 2016 Volkswagen Gti Rims. So these wheels are 18 by 8 with painted red calipers. And I have these sitting on Sumitomo tires, and they're 235 by 40 by 18. So it gives it that aggressive poke. They don't have small tires. They came with 225s, but I upgraded to 235s, so when I lowered the car, I could give it more an aggressive poke. So that was one of the things that I did. I'm gonna move on to the interior in a moment, but one last thing I did wanna say before I move on to the interior is about 2.5 years ago, I had custom lights done to this car. So these are custom DRL lights that technically replace these lights right here that you see. So these are nighttime running lights, and during the day when the headlights are off, they run for your DRLs. So I put custom lights in these about 2.5 years ago, and I had water damage. And that's actually a funny story. I put a front lip on this car and I ripped it off on the highway, which ripped off the undercarriage. In ripping off the undercarriage, water damage got all throughout underneath my vehicle and burned out one of the lights. So I bought a new set. This set, although it worked really well, and it looked absolutely amazing. But one of the wires ended up becoming loose on it, so it disconnected. So me and Adam obviously thought, hey, let's take the wires, connect it to the fog light switch, which we have a fog light switch that you turn and pull out and the fogs come on. So when we did that, it ruined the whole wiring. So currently, as of right now, these lights are off. We're gonna try to attack that project in another video. So you'll see that coming up shortly. But at the moment, those are not there. I have aftermarket HIDs. They're a lot brighter than the halogens. This entire car, a fun fact, this entire car actually came with everything halogen, so I had to change everything out to LED. But that gives it more of an updated, aggressive style look, so that's the one thing I did. But other than that, that is pretty much it for the exterior. So now, I want to move into the interior of the vehicle. All right, so moving on to the interior, I did aftermarket speakers. I have a full JBL G series, a GX28 series all throughout all 4 doors. I have custom lights that I bought actually off of Amazon, actually very nice lights. And I have my Sony 6.4-inch Apple CarPlay radio. This car came with a double-din radio but didn't have any options on it. So I have the Sony 6.4-inch Apple CarPlay integrated. I also have red paddle shifter extenders. I used to have silver paddle shifter extenders, but I'm happy that Adam bought those for my birthday recently because it flows with the entire interior of the vehicle because it have red accents throughout the whole interior. So I'm very happy I have those. Plus they're a little bit bigger than the ones that I had. The ones I had before weren't as large. And the stock ones, by the way, super short, hard to reach. And since I injected a little bit more performance into this vehicle, I kind of wanted to have that performance feel to it. So that's why I added the big paddle shifters. All right, so moving on to the trunk. I did not only just add 4 new JBL speakers to the vehicle, I also added a 12-inch JBL 1000-watt subwoofer with a JBL amplifier because I could not use the stock amplifier with the updated system. The reason why I put these in here was because my stock speakers were blowing out. I had the Fender Audio Premium system in my vehicle to begin with, but because plastic gets brittle over time, I had to replace them. I think this system is a 10 out of 10 for the price. I don't think you should go any more expensive than the $1,600–1,800 range for speakers and a subwoofer. I think this was absolutely perfect. I've had it now for 3 long years and it sounds spectacular. So that was another modification I did to this car, and my next car will have the same modification too. So let's go to the front of the car because I have kind of a weird modification that I did that I wasn't expecting to do, but there's a little story behind that. So I'm gonna pop the hood really quick and I'm gonna show you what that is. Now don't make fun of me for it. It's just, it's what I could do with what this car allows us to do. So, a little bit of a story here. So this is the V6 naturally aspirated Volkswagen. It has a dual shift gearbox in it, so much smoother shifts, much better than what a CVT would give you or a plain automatic transmission would give you. So this car shifts really aggressively, really nice, especially with the exhaust on it. So we wanted to see if we could put an intake on it, but they don't sell any intakes for this car because, like I said, there's not a lot of modifications you can do to it. So we had to do a little bit of some AutoZone hacking. So we went to AutoZone, we bought a intake. We wanted to go black because we didn't want to look too ricey. And it's basically a custom intake that, believe it or not, actually sounds pretty good. It just looks a little wonky because it doesn't belong on the vehicle. Does it sound good? Yes. Does it perform pretty well? Yes. Will it perform like what a Cobb intake would do on a Subaru or an APR intake on another Volkswagen that can be modified? Probably not, but for what we could do, I think it works the best. But anyway, that's pretty much it on the Volkswagen Passat. I don't think you're gonna see anything else in the channel on the vehicle unless you guys have any ideas. But other than that, that's pretty much the end of today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. There is a cop right there. He's running it. He waved. I thought he was going to stop. That's why I stopped. I heard him behind me. I know. I was like, I didn't want to keep going, and he stopped. So, all right, we're good. He just waved and went. Like, good guy. So that is pretty much it for my car. You're going to see this driving around on the channel. You may see us fix it a few times on the channel. Since she's getting a little old, you may see us fix it. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Unless anybody else has any ideas to put on this vehicle, we are out of ideas. So let us know if anything. But that's pretty much going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you get a notification when our videos have been posted. Peace out, and we'll see you guys in the next one.